Did you know that you're killing off innocent Omnics every time you deliver the payload? This is King's Row. It is the oldest and arguably the best map in Overwatch. Chances are, you have spent over hundreds of hours here grinding and blaming your bad teammates. Beneath all of that lies a dark story most players never realized was there. The main objective is simple. You deliver the payload to the end. But have you ever wondered, what is the payload? Where are we delivering it to? And why? To answer these questions, let us briefly touch on the backstory for a better understanding. I will share with you short stories of the beautiful lore Overwatch has created, which made me fall in love with the game in the first place. I will not cover the fine details in this video as it will take too long, but I can guarantee you this: you will not look at King's Row the same way again. To understand the story, let's begin with Omnics. Omnics were created in the early 2000s by Omnica Corporation. Initially, Omnics were designed to be advanced machines that would aid in labor and industrial tasks. They were involved in manufacturing, construction, and other heavy work that humans found too dangerous or undesirable. As the technology progressed, advanced AI was introduced and Omnics evolved. Anubis was built to maintain ecological balance and conservation. However, they could not be achieved without the end of humanity. It hijacked Omnica production lines to build robots. Anubis had full control over all Omnics and eventually commenced a worldwide invasion, which is the Omnic Crisis. After the war ended, the damage was done. Many Omnics were decommissioned and destroyed. While the remaining integrated back into human society, it proved to be difficult. Deep-rooted fear and hatred led Omnics to be treated as second-class citizens. Though the world moved on, Omnics were still seen as tools, and in many places, their existence was feared. In London, Omnics were forced to live in the underworld, a grim, overcrowded underground settlement beneath King's Row. These Omnics had no choice but to scrape together a living in the city's underbelly. They were discriminated against, denied rights, and forced to live in the shadows of human society. The surface, full of towering buildings and prosperous life, was a world they were locked out of. This was the harsh reality for Omnics in King's Row, barely surviving, trying to rebuild, and hoping for a better future. Ramattra was once just another Omnic, built to serve, to work, and to contribute to society. Born in the Shambhali monastery, he was raised among the peaceful monks who believed in the harmony between Omnics and humans. He was taught that Omnics could live alongside humans in peace, contributing to a world where both could coexist. But after seeing the endless suffering his people endured, he became disillusioned. Over time, Null Sector was formed. Null Sector is a radical faction of Omnics led by Ramattra that seeks to overthrow human dominance and fight for the freedom and equality of Omnics through militant means. They wanted a world where Omnics could live without being seen as inferior to humans. Their mission was to establish a new world order. And then came the Uprising in King's Row. In a bold move, Null Sector seized control of key infrastructure in the city, turning it into a stronghold of the Omnic resistance. The British government declared the area off limits, but Overwatch, led by Soldier 76, Jack Morrison, disobeyed orders and sent in a strike team illegally. But the mission wasn't just about taking down Null sector. It was about delivering an EMP payload deep into the heart of the Omnic underworld. A weapon designed not only to disable the Omnic systems, but to completely erase them from the battlefield. Now, here's where things get complicated. The EMP wasn't a precision strike. It was a mass suppression weapon that will affect every single Omnic in the area, civilian or combatant. A payload targeted at the heart of the underworld where all Omnics lived. This decision was one of the most controversial in Overwatch's history. By carrying out the mission, Overwatch essentially endorsed a devastating act of collective punishment against all Omnics in the underworld. And though the mission may have saved King's Row for humanity, it left the relationship between humans and Omnics in ruins, sparking a further divide that will play a significant role in future events. While the mission was accomplished, it came at a cost that can't be measured in wins or losses. They may have just burned the last bridge with Omnics in the process. The next time you load into King's Row, remember, you are reenacting a moment in history that is far more complex than a simple mission. You are pushing that payload not as a hero, but as part of a force that shatters the hopes and dreams of Omnics that only wants what you take for granted. Ramattra, a leader born of pain and struggle, doesn't seek violence for its own sake. He fights because he has no other choice.
Do you remember when we sat up at night, counting stars?
Yes. We wondered how many other Omnics were doing the same.
Yes, well, I've learned that too few of them look up at all.
There is a new sadness in you, brother.
No. I've simply grown tired of pretending I am content.
Perhaps I can share your burden.